Hi, I'm Danny Glover, and I'm here in the state of Nevada. I've come here because I want to do everything I can to support John Edwards, Senator John Edwards.
Primarily a crowd, exclusively a crowd of African Americans. It reminds me when I was at May, when I went to the mayor's conference, the Conference of Black Mayors in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I stepped up and said that I endorsed John Edwards for the Democratic nomination of president, and also said that this is our next president of the United States. So when I talk about supporting John Edwards, I'm talking about something that wasn't a very difficult decision for me. In June of last year, June of 2006, I spent a week with John Edwards. We weren't at cocktail parties. We weren't at celebrity cocktail parties in Los Angeles. We weren't at some sort of who's who dinner at someplace else. We were right in the basement, in hotels, talking to hotel workers. We were talking to men and women who worked in those hotels, men and women who did the laundry, women who did service the room. We were there. We went into the place where they ate, which is not too different from right this moment, the place where they were eating. In the cafeterias where they were African Americans, where they were Asian Americans, where they were Latino Americans, where they were white Americans. And we sat down and talked to them. And then he began to talk about his own story, which is no different, being the first in his family, the first generation to go to college. His mother, his father, his uncle, his aunts, his grandparents that worked in the mills in North Carolina. But he was the first that had the opportunity to go to college. And then you look at his record in terms of the lawyer, and you saw that he was always bucking up against the big corporations, always fighting for the real people. So I said, this is someone that I was concerned about. So when he began to talk about unions, he began to talk about raising the awareness of what's happening, the fight of working people, raising the fight and talking about the middle class, talking about the issues around the class. That's when I began to say, this is someone that I want to be around.
This is a very important time as we discuss the issues of health care, we discuss the issues of education, we discuss the issues of poverty. John Edwards is in the leadership of that discussion. He's at the apex and the forefront of that discussion.
Just like all of them, go to work and try to carve out a life, to try to raise a family. That's all this has been. They try to tell us to find schools that are going to educate their children. They talk about the issues and worry about whether they're going to have enough money to pay the rent or pay the health care or put food on the table. That's the same thing. When I talked to John Edwards, when I met John Edwards, I felt in my heart, from all the work that had happened to me in my life, in my heart, that this is the man who's going to pay attention to that this was the man who's going to listen to that this is the man who's going to care about that, because he understood clearly what shoulders he stood on, and he stood on the shoulders of the working people.
The old African proverb that says it takes a whole village to raise a child, and John Edwards understands that the village has raised him. The village has given him the authority and the moral conviction that he can be of service to his fellow Americans and be of service to the world.
And I'm asking every single one of you within earshot of me, every single one of you in this room, every single one who look at this on television, to listen to John Edwards. If you listen to John Edwards, you're going to find a righteous man. Thank you.
Good job, Danny.